Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan, and the guy who was just taking a drink is actually Khoo Chuang. It's Friday, and although you guys can't see outside, it's massively rainy, but we agreed.
It is. It's better than the haze.
It's
anytime.
better than the haze any single time. So yeah, it's a rainy Friday. We hope when you watch this, you're not stuck in some traffic. Hopefully you're enjoying some adult beverage somewhere.
Yes, I mean, we're not talking about coffee either.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, in terms of the weather, it's as gloomy as how I thought the market was this week. Patchy, uninspired, boring.
It's only partially
nice.
due to Deepavali, right? Only partially.
Yeah, because we did have a bit of a holiday, so I think a lot of people just took a time out to go and eat, and eventually was not so interested in trading. But when they came back, it was all kind of down. And I think also it's my buddy, my soul animal, Janet Yellen's fault.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody find it incomprehensible that an old lady with white hair who looks like a character from a J.K. Rowling movie can actually control global financial markets with just a word here and an utterance there?
I think she makes grown men pee their pants. Let's be very honest, she does.
Well, especially those with a lot of money in the market.
Exactly. So actually she came out, and I don't know, I was reading the statement and I found it a little strange where they said they must weigh the impacts of post-crisis. They have to look at new tools.
It's Greek. It's all Greek to me.
It's all Greek to me. So when you say new tools, right, if you look at me, economists have just been doing the same thing in various forms over the past few years.
All 6 Fed officials met today, and they all hinted in one way, shape or another that they're going to raise rates in December. I think now the chances of a December rate rise is around about 66-67%.
Which is enough to freak anyone out. Because most people were saying, once you get past October, you're clear and free. Obviously, it's not that case.
I think Jeffrey Lacker was one who said that it's not the timing of the Fed rate rise, it's the pace of the rate rise from there on in. But be that as it may, it's actually going to be quite good for markets, and I think that's why markets were quite quiet this week.
Yeah, they are very quiet. Wall Street had a bad day, which handed off into everybody else's bad day. Malaysia, of course, we had 3Q GDP. It's 4.7% up year on year. I think it looks okay. It's not what some people were expecting, but I think you cannot expect these kinds of numbers going into next year.
Well, Janet Yellen would give her left leg to have 4.7% GDP, all things being considered.
Yes.
But all from Malaysia's perspective, this was actually quite good, because of the huge amount of global headwinds, external headwinds, domestic headwinds. The fact that we did 4.7%, and assuming we're not the path of Chinese data in terms of believability.
Yes.
And I'm not saying anything here, right?
No, nothing. We have coffee. But the fact is, I think you need a couple more quarters before people are a bit more assured.
Yeah, I think the government's forecast for next year is 4.5% to 5%, which is okay. But of course, it's not all rosy, especially in the oil front.
All right.
So,
well, moving on to what we wanted to talk about this week, the first good thing was that it was China's Singles Day, and I'm single, you're not.
I would like to be single.
No. At least I have a shopping day. I had a shopping day to myself. It made something ludicrous. You can see the stats on our screen now.
Actually, what is Singles Day in China?
11/11. I cannot say it in Chinese because my mum will kill me. Something like that. Anyway, basically, it's a day to celebrate that, look, you don't have a husband, you don't have a wife.
So then you go out and spend and do retail therapy?
Exactly. It makes you happy. And talking about people being happy, 1 billion USD. I don't even know what it looks like in the first 8 minutes. JD.com, which is the other big retailer aside from Alibaba, they made more in that day than they did in the past 5 similar days in the past 5 years.
That's a bit like Black Monday in America, where they've got Apple stores open and they do all kinds of sales online, right?
Yes, exactly.
Is that what it is?
Well, it's something like that. I think you just have a lot of bargains. Jack Ma, of course, the head of Alibaba, had this fantastic thing where
He's not single, is he?
No, he's not single. We will do a 4-hour variety show, and you know who will show up? Adam Lambert, which is funny considering he's openly gay and the Chinese don't seem to...
Adam Lambert's gay? No way.
Yeah, he's gay.
and
Daniel Craig, who's not gay, showed up as well. Kevin Spacey, who did a YouTube message promoting Alibaba.
But who is gay?
Kevin Spacey is not gay. I don't think he is.
He's incredibly gay.
He's not. Anyway,
he's incredibly
besides that fact, I think the ultimate message we take from all of this is that, yeah, fine, China slowed down, whatever, we still spend. We still spend a whole lot.
I think you're not putting things into perspective, because $1 billion in China is like 100, it's not a lot, right? Because you've got 1.4 billion Chinese. Even if you take 10% of that 1.4 billion Chinese, 140 million people, right? They spend $1,000 each. Or $100 each, you're going to get $1 billion.
I still think you are looking at the glass half empty. I mean, it's still a lot of money. What does 1 billion even look like? Will it fill this room that we're currently in?
Depends on whether you use rupiah or dollars.
Oh, well, we'll have to take a look at that. But yes, anyway, I think the China story, more importantly for them, it's changing what they're spending. Apparently, a lot of people spend baby products. I think maybe they're anticipating
Are
that.
they still buying those things that, that like plants on the heads and stuff like that? I mean, that's really such a
no,
total
baby
money,
stuff,
right?
baby stuff. Because of course China repealed the one-child policy.
Yes,
So
they
obviously
did.
they're getting ready, even though apparently they're supposed to be single.
And that's scary because you've already got 1.4 billion Chinese with a one-child policy, and they remove that. You've got 3 billion Chinese, and I'm Chinese and I'm scared.
At least they'll be kitted out nicely. But moving on to what actually made us more unhappy this week. I don't even know what to say about this. Petronas third quarter earnings, our colleague Suhi, of course, who you see on the show, often comes in. We're talking about spectacular drop, 91% in profit after tax. And more than anything else, I think the thing that you heard more is that the government dividends from 26 billion is now 16 billion. 10 billion is, like a song says, dust in the wind.
It is, but it's the second impairment. Actually, this is mainly on impairment charges on upstream assets, right? But the more important thing is this is the second impairment in the same financial year. So they've already done an impairment once, they've done another impairment, and the scary thing is, one Zulkifli, Datuk to you and me, is that low oil prices and an oversupply situation is the new normal.
Yeah,
and that's the scary part.
I saw so many reports, that they can debate till the cows come home about what the new normal is. People said $50 US dollars per barrel until the end of the decade, which is still another 5 years to go.
Well, Petronas' assumptions for next year, 2016, are at $48 a barrel. Today, Brent closed at $45.5 a barrel.
Exactly.
So we're already, the assumptions are already $3 US per barrel higher.
So, but the thing is, we also saw a lot of reports where people said the government will not change the budget because they already anticipated this drop. I don't think it's going to make things hurt any less. On one hand, yeah, fine, you're not getting as much in. Shouldn't on the other side, and we've had this argument till the cows come home, shouldn't the other side also be managing finances?
20 billion ringgit is how much the Prime Minister's office will spend on itself this year. 265 billion ringgit is how much the budget is, 3% more than last year. Development expenditure is around about the same, about 30-40 billion, so not a lot. And purses are not being tightened in the government.
So here's my question, right? If you are Petronas, let's say you are the Datuk that we talk about, what would you do in this situation? Batten down the hatches and wait for stuff to get better?
They've got no choice. But the thing, they've already dropped the dividend to the government, 16 billion ringgit down from 24. The more important thing, I think, for us as Malaysians is the fact that they have got to pay this dividend from earnings, yes, but from cash balances as well. And when you're depleting cash to pay dividends, and they've only got 140 billion ringgit in cash, right? But you can imagine, cash is cash. You don't want to deplete your cash. Yeah,
all right, so we hate to leave you on a depressing note, but we do have to go because we want to go home before the jam starts. But regardless of that, I'm Nadia Hassan. He's Khoo Chuang. You want more on all the stories we talked about today? There is the edgemarkets.com. There's the physical copy of the paper. But before that, enjoy your weekend, guys. Good night.